Here we go. So, examine f of x is negative 1/2 x plus 1. Find the inverse of that. So, what do I do first? I need to change f of x to y equals negative 1/2 x plus 1. Okay? And what would I do next? That's right. Swap out the x and the y and make this x equals negative 1/2 y plus 1. I am trying to solve for y. Subtract 1. So subtract 1, subtract 1. 1's cancel out. I get x minus 1 is equal to negative 1/2 times y. Again, I am trying to get y by itself. So what would I do here? I want y by itself. By? That's right. I need to take the reciprocal. What is the reciprocal of negative 1/2? It's negative 2 over 1. So we have to make it negative also. So that means I need to multiply by negative 2 over 1. Oh yes, whatever you do in an equation to one side, you have to do on the other. So the 2's cancel out, the 1's cancel out. I get y equals, this 1 is essentially gone because negative 2 over 1 is negative 2. And I'm distributing. So here I would get negative 2x, and a negative times negative is positive 2. Is that my final answer though? No. And we'll figure that out when we get back. All right, so that is the original. That is f of x right here. Thank you. The inverse, we just solved for that. Okay, so this is negative 2x plus 2. So that means my y-intercept is 2. My slope is negative 2, which is going to be negative 2 over 1. Let me write that with something else. Negative 2 over 1, which means I am going down 2 and 1 to the right. So starting at the y-intercept of 2, then I'm going to go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. And let's create that line. Because it's negative 2. It looks a little high, but it's negative 2 over 1. Right here? Yes, this is all together. And this goes with this. Okay? So the reflection line is y equals x, which goes along on this diagonal, because if you took a piece of paper and traced over that paper and then folded it, it would show up looking exactly like the other. It is negative 2. Yeah, that's why I put it in a different color, but it was a little bit high. Okay? Well, because it says graph f of x and its inverse. So you solve to find the inverse. F of x was the original, and then we did all of this work to get the inverse of f of x. And then it says to graph the original and its inverse. So that's what we did. Okay? All right. Let's skip these for now. Let's turn to the next page because the next page is what we need to focus on. But there's only two problems, so it's not going to take a long time. And it is fairly, what do I want to say? Fairly close to what we've been doing. Although now we are talking about quadratics, okay? So we have something raised to the second power, all right? Now, before we jump into quadratics, I'm going to do just a sidebar little thing. So maybe you put this up at the very top, okay? If I have, let's say I have x to the second power, and I want to undo that so I just have x. What would I do to get just x by itself? You would take the square root, yes. So I would take the square root, and if you take the square root of something that is squared, they both cancel each other out, okay? That's what we're going to end up doing, all right? The other thing is if I have and say x squared is equal to 9, so I take that square root, and I take that square root here, okay, so this is going to cancel out. I'm left with x equals, what is x equal to if I take the square root of 9? Is that the only thing? What if I go like this? If I have x squared equals 9 and I take the square root of both sides, I'm looking for what value x can be. X can be equal to positive 3 and negative 3. You have to have both. If we just say, what's the square root of 9? Usually we are looking only for the positive value. But as soon as you introduce an x in there, x could be plus or minus the square root of 3. Okay? All right. Yeah. Huh? Oh, yeah. So, to start off, I have f of x is equal to quantity x minus 5 and quantity squared. That is called a quadratic. We want to find its inverse. That means I want to be able to swap x and y. But I don't have any y values. Okay? So, what can I do without changing the entire problem? Just like we started off before. Yes, f of x, we're going to change this to y. So we're going to say y is equal to x minus 5 squared. Now, remember, we want to find the inverse. So what do I do next? That's right. We're going to swap it, switch it. And we're going to say x is equal to parentheses y minus 5 squared. All right. So I am trying to get y by itself. Y right now is together inside those parentheses. Okay? I have to get rid of that 2. The only way I can do that is by taking the square root. So I'm going to take the square root also of this x. When I do that, I cancel and get rid of the square root. I get rid of the squared, and my parentheses are going to leave. So I'm left with y minus 5 is equal to the square root of x. I'm trying to solve for y. So what would I do at this point? Add 5. So we add 5 here, we add 5 here. 5's cancel out. Y is equal to, we're going to put the 5 out in front. So it's 5 plus the square root of x. Now, this is a good answer, but it's not the perfect answer. Why is it not the perfect answer? It's okay to have the square root there. This should have been plus or minus that square root. Okay? Because we have to show both. And then finally, because I want to show that this is an inverse, I hate that I'm just barely running out of space here. Instead of y, I am going to put the inverse of f of x to show it is an inverse is equal to 5 plus or minus the square root of x. That is your final answer. What do you think? Not too bad. Not too bad. You don't get it? Okay. The plus or minus. Okay, but it is true, right? If you take negative 3 times negative 3, you're going to get that positive 9. Yes? Because that's not the full correct answer. Thank you. All right. Let's go to letter B. Letter B. I'm going to erase this little thing here because I'm going to need some space. Oops. All right. So here we go again. G of x is equal to x plus 8, that quantity, squared. It says we want to find the inverse. All right. So first up, I'm going to change g of x to show as a y. Y is equal to, parentheses, x plus 8, quantity squared. So Kamari, this is a new thing. I don't know that you've ever seen this. Definitely want to probably write this down. All right, so I've got y equals, I need to do an inverse. Here I need to actually switch the y with the x. So now I make it x equals, parentheses, y plus 8 and quantity squared. I am trying to solve for y and get y by itself. But y is inside that nice set of parentheses and it's squared. I want to get rid of that square. How do I do that? Take the square root. Take the square root. That means I have to take the square root of everything that's on the left side also. Now, the square and the square root are like opposites, so they are eliminated over on the right-hand side. And you're left with y plus 8 is equal to, and just so I don't forget, when I rewrite that square root of x, I'm going to put plus or minus in front of it. Do that right then. Okay? I'm trying to solve for y. What's my next step? Subtract 8. Subtract 8. 8's are going to cancel out. I have y is equal to, I'm going to put that negative 8 out in front. So make sure it's negative 8 plus or minus the square root of x. Final answer? Not yet. What did we forget? Okay, but be careful. If it's g of x, you really want to show the inverse of g. Yeah, tricky. So the inverse of g of x is equal to -8 plus or minus the square root of x. There it is. Questions on that? Probably. Actually, I haven't looked at the test up close and personally, but I am pretty sure that it's going to be on there. So all we have left to do is using compositions to verify inverses. That is what, basically a page and a half-ish. And we will do that tomorrow. So what I would recommend, because I do not have very many homework assignments from people. So homework number 1 was due yesterday. Okay? Homework number 1 was due on May 5th. Homework number 2 is due Friday, but you can get started on it. Okay? So let's use this time, take out your homework, let's work on it, see if you have some questions. If you have the questions, you can ask me those questions. Okay? So you have about 7 more minutes. Which office? Like guidance counselor or attendance, or who do you need to talk to?
Can you just tell me this part where it says C and do I add the C into it or no? So you need it like probably.
I can't see what you're.
Okay, no, it's okay.
You're trying to figure out how to label the answer. Is that what you're trying to figure out?
Not the answer, but put it into parentheses.
I don't think I can tell you that. All right, Anno, you have to know where